Hello everyone, it is Kendra here with another bookish video for you today. Today we are doing an October wrap-up. Now, I did it a little bit different this month. I started writing out this whole huge journal entry about all these books, and I kind of went on a rant. So some of these books have brought out a lot in my personal life. We're just jumping right in here, diving in deep right away. So we have some big topics for discussion today. First one is faith and religion, which can be a very controversial topic, but I want to discuss it today. Now, if you are only here for a wrap-up, I think what I'm going to do in editing is do October wrap-up and then October wrap-up extended version, faith talk kind of thing. So I'm going to film it all in one, but I think I'm going to split it into two different videos, or at least put timestamps in it so you can skip over those discussions if all you want to hear about is the book stuff. That will be available to you. So let's get going. First one I want to talk about is a show, actually. In my September wrap-up, I talked about Little Fires Everywhere, and I said I wanted to watch the show. I completed the show in October, and oh my god, this is my note. 10 out of 10, recommend everyone, in all caps, watch. Oh my god, this show, I don't even have enough words. Every time I go to talk about it, I just start stumbling over my words, and I can't really speak about it. I talked about it in my October favorites video, which was my last video. I'll link it below so you can check that out. I talk about a couple other shows and some lifestyle favorites. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that before we get into it. Go watch the show for Little Fires Everywhere. I did not finish the book, but the show was incredible. Next up, so the first book I read in October was The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I gave this book a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Now, these are my notes for the book. 1, I liked Angels and Demons better. What I realized is Angels and Demons deals with more science and religion, whereas this book deals with more religion and history. It just moved a little bit slower for me. This moves me on to my next point. I wrote, this one read slower in my opinion. I really enjoyed the science aspect of the last one, however, the Holy Grail itself was fascinating. I think I gathered a little bit more of the Grail story watching the movie though. So I did finish the book and then I watched the movie. Both are good, not great and amazing, but they're both good quality, in my opinion. Excuse me. I'd say the most interesting thing about this series, even though they weren't my favorite, or this one wasn't my favorite, I think they played a large role in how I now view my faith today. So that's going to lead me into this talk. I'm just going to go over my viewpoints, otherwise I'm going to ramble. So, I grew up Catholic. I was baptized, I did reconciliation, I did the Holy Eucharist, I was confirmed Catholic in high school, the whole shebang. I have defended Catholicism in the past, and by no means am I saying religion is wrong, but I no longer identify as a Catholic anymore. And I honestly don't even know if I identify as a Christian anymore, which is a lot. And for those of you who know me in my real life or my family, Just hang on a second. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Let me explain. I believe in Jesus of Nazareth. I believe he was a real man. I believe he existed. I believe he did wonderful, great things. I believe he is an example of godliness in the ways that he loved others, helped others, and in the end, died for the sake of others. He was himself. He did what he believed was just and loving, no matter what anyone else thought. I think most Catholics, most Christians would probably agree with that statement. He existed. He was a real man. He helped others. He performed miracles. He was a loving man. I think they can get on board with that. So I also believe that. All right, now, this is where they are going to disagree with me. I'm sorry I keep looking down, but these notes are amazing. I had a lot to talk about, you guys. So, next bullet point. I believe religion is a man-made format and system in which we, meaning people and humans, so religion is a tool in order for us to, like, stay on the right path. On the right path. Right. Right is not right for everyone. Anyway, if there were no consequences, aka going to hell in religion, that's the consequence, for doing bad things, then the world would be chaos. And what would keep some people from going crazy? I believe religion works for many people, but not for me. I have gained a higher knowledge of human civilization as a whole and I now look at it as a complex system. It's hard to even get this out. That's why I'm just reading from my notes. It's probably really boring to hear. And this is hard to get through because I haven't even discussed this with my family. I've never really put it into solid words yet before, so this is the first time. So that's why it's awkward. Anyway, next, I believe there's a higher power working through us. Us as in human beings, animals, plants, the earth, like all life. I believe that there's a higher power going through all of us. A lot of people would say that that's God, and I have absolutely zero problem with that. I respect others' faith. Okay, so I wrote, I believe there's a higher power walking through us being human beings, animals, plants, the earth, the galaxy, etc. I believe that that power that is working through all of us is love. I believe in love, science, the human psyche, and nature. So all of that connected. Love, science, the human psyche, meaning like psychology, all these things. Basically, I don't know, I can't even describe it. Like, everything just is what it is. Yes, it was somehow created by God or love or science or a combination of all of them, probably. It's probably a combination. of things that we can't explain. And you know what? I don't think it's my job to explain it. I think my job is to live life. So, I think that's going to bring me maybe to my next point. This is what else I wrote. I believe in treating others with respect until they give you a reason not to, or give you a reason to remove them from your life. Meaning, they're just a toxic person. I don't need to speak with them. You don't need to do anything drastic like, I'm cutting you out of my life, you're dead to me, like all this stuff. It doesn't need to be dramatic, you guys. Just slowly stop talking to them, do an Irish exit, and just cut it off. It's not that hard. I believe in creating your own world around you. What you do day to day is what makes up your life. Not politics or policies or what others think you should do or anything other than what you think is best. Above all, love yourself. Love yourself and treat all with kindness. Now, see, those I feel like are basic rules every 5-year-old or younger knows. And why do we forget those simple, easy rules as adults? Because we get caught up in all these things that make us hate other people. Why? Why do we do that? It is not good for us. It is not good for other people. It's just not good. So, if the way that you can get through life is by a religion like Catholicism or Methodist or a Bible church or Hindu or Islam or Buddhism or Judaism or anything, flying spaghetti monster, whatever. I really don't care what you do in your day-to-day life as long as you're treating me with respect when I give it to you, and vice versa. As long as humans can treat others with respect, by all means, like, do whatever. I also wrote that the Da Vinci Code movie I would give a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like that was really awkward. I feel like it's really awkward reading from a script. Okay. Moving on from all that. The next book I read in October was this chunker of a book. It is so heavy. It is Solutions and Other Problems by Ali Brosh. Ali Brosh, I feel like, gets inside my head sometimes. She makes me laugh out loud in this book and her last book, Hyperbole and a Half, also loved. This is what's in my notes here. Made me LOL. Talks about real life situations in a relatable and hilarious way, even if the topic is difficult. Example, cancer, divorce. You will just have to read the book. I'm not going to do any spoilers, okay? I feel like she has somehow gotten into my brain and helps me laugh about how crazy I am. And then I have this whole big example in a cloud. It's this long, guys. Like, making up a whole life story for a cashier at the grocery store, then feeling weird about it, then seeing them again, act weird, thinking they may be able to read your thoughts about this secret spy life you are living. In reality, people just think you're acting strange. Spend more time trying to reverse your stories you have made up for strangers and just focus on your own life. Makes up a million different stories that are equally as ridiculous and made up about your own life. Tries the rest of life to overcome anxiety and become one's own best friend. Still feels weird admitting how cool I am, even though I know I am so cool. I feel like she gets inside my anxiety brain. My brain that is trying to cope with anxiety. She is in there and she is dealing with the same stuff. And she puts it in a way that just makes me laugh out loud. It is hilarious. It is amazing. I wrote, overall, I'm ranting again, and this was a wonderful book. Please go read it. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It is amazing. I love her little comics. I just can't get enough. Ali Brosh, I love you. Also, she lives in Bend, Oregon. I want to move to Oregon, you guys. I love that state. It's so beautiful. Next, I like just reading from this. It's nice. Next book I read was actually an ebook. I will insert a picture. I read Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Milk and Honey by author name here because I cannot say it. I am so sorry. I don't even really know why I picked it up. I just did. It was hard to get through the first part. There's like 4 different parts. The first part dealt with a lot of sexual abuse. So that was difficult to get through, but important. Very important. Next bullet point I have. Poetry, okay? I feel like I never read poetry. I really enjoyed it, and I should read more. The end talks about how you need to love yourself before you can let others in. Take care of yourself and love yourself even though we are taught our whole lives not to. Why? Why are we taught our whole lives not to do that? This is maddening. Why does society always fall for this, and why do we think it's okay? Why? See, I feel like my faith, my new faith, comes up in everything, ? Everything is love, or should it be? Everything is love, or should be, or is fighting against it. So I guess this makes sense? Questioning. So I guess this makes sense? ? I'm rambling again. In conclusion, please read. Also, fun fact, this is the first ebook I have completed in 2.5 years. I thought it was only 1 until I fact-checked on my Goodreads page. Nope, 2.5 years. I feel like this wrap-up is going to be forever long now. Because it's weird because I'm just reading from a journal. This journal, like, it's so hard to portray my attitude, I feel like, when I'm reading from this. But I love how I wrote this because when I read it in my head, it's hilarious. It's just how, like, it's just how I want the video to sound, but I can't memorize it all. Let's just move on to the next book. Oh my gosh. I'm so weird, you guys. The next book I read in October was The Wicked Deep by Shay Ernshaw. This was a reread for me. This book is incredible. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Again, it was a reread. Next bullet point. I am seeing so much foreshadowing this time around. This was my first time rereading this book, and it still surprised me and kept me reading. It was a fast-paced read, and it keeps the suspense going. I had forgotten the ending, but I really enjoyed it the second time around, even though it felt familiar. I don't want to spoil anything. Also, this needs to be a movie. I think it would work really well. It's YA, so it was an easy read, but didn't feel too teenagery and insta-love, even though it kind of is. It kind of is. But it makes more sense in the end. Spoilers. Yeah, I feel like that sums it up. Very good. I could see things coming a lot sooner this time, but it still worked really well. Like, it just made me feel like I was in on the secret, and I was just waiting for the characters to catch up, and that was a lot of fun. Still think it should be made into a movie. It would be amazing, especially for spooky season. Tomorrow is Halloween, you guys. Also, it's Trid's birthday, my boyfriend. He is going to be 27 this year. Happy birthday, Trid. The next book I started reading, let's see. I am about 60 pages into it, but I think I'm going to save it for my November wrap-up. I don't know how much I'm going to read in November because I have a lot of other things going on. I'm going to be working. I have a family wedding to go to. It's Thanksgiving. If you live in the States, which I cannot wait for Thanksgiving. The food is like, my favorite meal is anything Thanksgiving food. Anything with lots of carbs that is like a home-style, home-cooked meal. Throw some gravy on it. Give me a roll. I'm happy. I am happy with all the carbs. This video today, I feel like, was a complete mess. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. And I'm sorry if it's a mess. And I don't know about this whole reading from a journal thing. Next month, we're just gonna chat it out rather than writing it down. Because it was... oh, I'm gonna be cringing so hard editing this. Okay. I hope you all enjoyed the video, even though it was way cringy. Faith talk, weird. Also faith talk, controversial. Who knows what's gonna happen here. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Have a happy day, everyone. Bye. What even was that video? Oh man. I don't even want to redo it. I think this is just gonna be something that we laugh about later on. Oh. Alright. We're done filming for today. We are not camera ready today. This brain is not camera ready. Bye.